Hello, and welcome to Brainy Gardener. Today, it is all about how to grow and care for the Aloe hereroensis. Aloe hereroensis, commonly known as the Sand Aloe, is a succulent native to Southwest Africa. Even at its ultimate height, it doesn't exceed 2 feet. A relatively indoor-friendly species, it is suitable for use as a potted plant. It grows in rosettes with long, fleshy leaves that are pale blue-green, blushing red under harsh sunlight. The leaf surface has distinct white bands running lengthwise down the center of each leaf. The contrast between the pale leaves stands out before a backdrop of mid-greens. This plant is often used as a garden feature, drawing the eye, not for its flashy colors but for its absence. Aloe hereroensis is a very easy plant to care for. It forgives neglect and doesn't punish forgetful gardeners all that often. It is the perfect plant for complete beginners. Sand Aloe likes full sun, though it can tolerate some shade in the afternoon. The plant will change the shade of its leaves under direct sunlight, a desirable trait in some gardens. The Sand Aloe likes well-draining soil. However, it will not tolerate standing water and will rot if the roots are allowed to sit in it for too long. It likes infrequent watering during the growing season when it actively puts out new leaves. In the winter, cut back on watering until spring, when new growth starts again. This aloe will tolerate drought very well once established in your garden. The Sand Aloe is not a heavy feeder and does not need to be fertilized regularly. However, once new growth starts in the spring, use a weak liquid fertilizer on the soil. The Sand Aloe likes temperatures between 55 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit. However, it is not tolerant of cold weather or freezing temperatures. Average room humidity needs to be maintained for the best results. The Sand Aloe is a slow grower and does not need to be pruned often. Dead and dying leaves can be removed using sharp shears, but make sure to make a clean cut. Sand Aloe does not need to be repotted very often. However, when it becomes root-bound, you can repot it in a container that is larger than the current one. Spring is usually the optimal time for repotting. Use a pot that has drainage holes. Prepare the soil. A mix of soil with peat moss and perlite is best. Make sure to add some fertilizer. Choose a spot where the plant gets plenty of sunlight. Good aeration should also be a consideration. Remove the plant from its pot. Remove any dead or damaged roots using your knife. Use a pair of scissors to trim off any remaining leaves that are too big. Place some fresh soil in your new container. Do not pack it down tightly, but make sure to fill all gaps between pot and soil. Plant the succulent in the center of your container and water lightly. Sand Aloe can be propagated by cuttings. This is a viable way to increase the number of plants you have. The process involves taking a piece of the parent plant and rooting it in potting soil or sand. To do this, simply follow these steps. Use a sharp tool to cut off a healthy leaf from your aloe plant, about 8 to 10 inches long. Cut the leaf in half and remove any thorns or spines. Allow the cutting to callus over for over a week. Place your cutting into a small pot filled with potting soil or sand. Water lightly and place it in a warm, sunny location until new growth appears, which may take 2 to 3 weeks. When new growth appears, transplant your succulent into a larger container or garden bed. The plant produces small, bright, red-orange tubular flowers on branched inflorescences. The flowers bloom from summer through fall and are pollinated by bees and wasps. Sand Aloe is non-toxic to humans and animals. It is safe to be grown around children and pets. Mealybugs, scale insects, and aphids are some of the most common pests of these plants. Mealybugs are small, white, or gray soft-bodied insects that live on the surface of leaves. Their presence is easily detected by their cottony wax secretions. These are attracted to stressed plants, and infestations often occur after repotting. Treat them with horticultural oils. Scales are immobile, small insects with waxy shells that secrete honeydew. They feed on the sap of these aloe and can weaken or kill them if left untreated. Treat scales with horticultural oils or soaps as soon as you notice them. Aphids are small, pear-shaped insects that suck the sap from plants. They can be green, black, or brown, and may have wings. Aphids are usually found on new growth or under leaves, where they congregate in large numbers. Treat with neem oil or rubbing alcohol. Please note and avoid overwatering the plant, placing it under harsh sunlight, using poorly drained potting mediums, and fertilizing during the dormancy period. Overwatering, overfertilization, and browning leaves are some of the most common problems of these plants. Overwatering is a common cause of succulent death. The roots can't absorb the water fast enough, so it pulls around them and can cause root rot or crown rot. Avoid watering unless the soil feels dry. Overfertilization is another common cause of plant death. It causes the plant to grow too fast and weakens its immune system, making it susceptible to disease. Use slow-release fertilizers or organic fertilizers instead of chemical ones. Browning leaves is a sign of overwatering or too much sunlight. Adjust your care routine accordingly.